Welcome to another weekend preview here for Los Alamitos Racecourse. It is December. We are looking at the weekend of Saturday, December 3rd and Sunday, December 4th. Pleased to be joined now by your Los Alamitos simulcast analyst, Christopher Wade. Chris, how was your weekend here at Los Al? And can't wait here to get ready for Champion of Champions in 2 million.
Yeah, we had a good week last week. Our Crispix Video Horse to Watch got the victory there. Our selection last week got there. Again, the Hattery for us on the outside post at 5-2, won well, and see if we can get it done here once again this weekend.
Yeah, well, that horse keeps drawing the outside post. You got to keep betting the Hattery because that's what he needs. He got it once again. He's improving. He's got run. So nice selection there with the Hattery. Let's talk about this Saturday. 10 races. You're going to take us to race number 9, and I'll bring the PPs here on the screen by the magic of television, and there they are. So race number 9, Chris, the start of the late double, a 300-yard quarter horse, a maiden event. So nobody's entered for the maiden claiming tag. We do have a runner that got DQ'd out of a win. That is Supreme, but I know you like the looks of the number 5 horse, Just One.
Yeah, this horse was a B- worker prior to many trouble debut. This horse had a good amount of trouble in pretty much every one of his lifetime starts. Worked a little bit slow last time, but showed a good amount of speed last time. And finally got it together, ran a pretty good race versus a well-met long shot who got caught a flyer that night and just kept on going to blow up the top board. But this horse did improve immensely on my numbers last time. And have to look at the outcome here in this event up trump against a first-time starter. So definitely can move forward here once again there for Jesus Mendoza.
All right, take a look at this replay. November 19, Just One was 20-1 in this spot, but like you mentioned, this might be the best he's ever gotten out of the gate, right? He was in gate number 4 here.
Yeah, he did break a little flat just in gate and broke okay away from there, kind of skied in a little bit, but showed some decent speed, but did finish better than look up against a well-meant horse who actually broke on the lead and just kept on going to blow up a top board. But this horse was crossed by a quicker horse, and this horse did finish relatively well, so it's not a bad effort, and definitely the horse is on the improve and running to his numbers previously with all that trouble factored in. He's got to look at the outcome at 5-1 in the 9th event on a Saturday evening.
Now, are you also liking that he's drawn on the inside of a first-time starter that doesn't have much fast workouts here?
Yeah, I'm going to give this horse a look here at the reason being he's up against a first-time starter who didn't show a lot of speed in the workouts, but this horse is slowly improving, and 2 races back was washed out a little bit, was okay last time, and steadily improving, and I think he's got to look at the outcome at a nice price in the 9th race. All
right, so that's Chris' selection, Just One. Again, he gave us a winner with the Hattery last week, who was a repeat Chris's selection. So, Chris, you're on a good roll here. Let's see if Just One can get a slight upset there in race number 9. As far as the Nightline simulcast signals, what other races are you handling for the Nightlines program?
Well, we got the typical races 3 through 11 at Lone Star Park. The last 3 races, 5, 6, and 7 at Evangeline. So lots of simulcast being piped in this part of the season.
All right, Chris, thank you for that. And we are on the week eve of the Champion of Champion in 2 million. We'll be just talking about those races in next week's edition of the show. So get ready. The highlight of all of our year-round season is upon us in just a week away.
Yeah, this group in the Champion of Champions is one of the best I have ever seen. In the 50th running of the Champion of Champions, this is a stellar group times 5. I mean, it is a quality group.
Have you ever already made up your mind about who you're kind of leaning to in that big race?
I'm still looking at it, but you got the Christopher Odell chart, so big look.
Yeah, how about that? Chris Odell with a tremendous challenger in both the 2 million and the Champion of Champions. He's going to be well represented in both races without a doubt. All right, Chris, anticipate that big weekend next week, but let's get a winner here this week in race number 9 with Just One.
Let's do it.
And away they go.
This December, quarter horse racing's most prestigious race will have one of the greatest fields ever, the 50th running of the Champion of Champions, a race for the ages. World champion Danger, 2-time Champion of Champions winner Apolitical Pence, Champion Impressive, Full Brothers Bomb Cyclone and Powerful Favorite, plus 5 other stars, all in one race. Who will be the Champion of Champions? The Southern California Thoroughbred Racing Circuit returns to Los Alamitos this December with our Winter Thoroughbred Meet. Opening day is set for Friday, December 9th. Young stars will be in action with 4 stakes races for juveniles highlighting the meet. The Grade 1 Starlet for fillies is set for Saturday, December 10th. The Los Alamitos Futurity will be held on Saturday, December 17th. And don't miss our NHC qualifier. Opening day is Friday, December 9th. For more, visit losalamitos.com.
Well, we approach our championship weekend on the quarter horse ice, Professor, but that means we're also approaching our winter thoroughbred season. It's going to be a couple of weeks of double headers, right?
Yeah, we'll have 6 racing programs during the winter thoroughbred meet. Our opening day will be on Friday, December the 9th, and we'll run Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of that opening week. The big race of the weekend will be the Starlet. That's a Grade 1 event, and that will be on Saturday, December the 10th. Then on the closing weekend, will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well, closing on Sunday, December 18th. Every day our post time will be 12:30 p.m. The second week of the meet, we'll have a big Saturday. We'll have an NHC live on-track handicapping contest that will be on Saturday, and the Los Alamitos Futurity, a Grade 2 race that always produces some really nice two-year-old stakes winners, pointing to next year's Kentucky Derby. That will be on Saturday as well. So action-packed, really action-packed. And as we've always been saying, it's going to be an action-packed December here at Los Alamitos, because while the thoroughbred meet begins on that Friday, you and I will be very interested about what happens on Wednesday, Jose,
yes,
because we'll have a very special post-position draw event here on the finish line room at Los Alamitos. And of course, we'll be deciding in that draw where those horses will be positioned for the Champion of Champions, the big one, and also the Los Alamitos 2 million Futurity, Jose.
Yeah, we haven't even started December, Professor. No, it already feels like we're halfway through it because we got so much to look forward to in this December here at Los Alamitos. So stay tuned for a lot of action that's coming in the next couple of weeks here from Los Alamitos. But one person I want to bring on, talking about handicapping contests, talking about quarter horses and thoroughbreds, is our shark caller, George Duarte. George is part of our selection committee when we do the consensus for like big races, big trials night. So happy to have George back on the program. George, welcome back to the program. And how you doing?
I'm doing good. I demanded to be on. I've been waiting for this Champion of Champions talk. I've been hyping it up since August.
I know it's been fun, and we're kind of just thinking off the top of our head. And this came to my mind, and I asked you and I asked Professor, have we ever had a horse that has swept the 2 million Futurity, then the Super Derby as a 3-year-old, and then the Champion of Champions? And you mentioned, I don't think we ever had it, right, Professor?
We never have, Jose. And of course, the Los Alamitos 2 million Futurity began in 1995. That was the first running of that big Futurity race. And since then, we've never had that, but we might have one this year. Bomb Cyclone won the Los Alamitos 2 million Futurity last year. He won the Super Derby this year, and he'll definitely be one of the top contenders in the Champion of Champions this season again. So we'll see if he can make huge history, because you mentioned no one has done that in the history of since the Los Alamitos 2 million Futurity began.
And good to have George here on track. We'll pick your brain about the Champion of Champions and 2 million, George. But
George, just before you ask me about it, I was gonna ask you, hey, you want to come on and talk? So, I was getting ready to ask you to come in.
That's his bailout, George. Don't believe him. That's probably his bailout. He wanted to get ahead of it and kind of let you know that he was going to ask you. But George, welcome back to the program. While we have you for a moment, why don't we talk about Saturday's program? Because I know there's a little bit of a price horse you like in Saturday's card and the opening race.
Yeah, and the first race, when I first looked through it, I saw, if you look through it, there's like the rail horse Ravenclaw, hasn't shown any speed, slow works. Same with the 2. The 3 has shown a good work, that 47.4, but had no finish. So there's a horse I like, and it's number 5. It's and if you look at if you ever watch the replay, the first time she flies out of the gate. She was up, I think a length and a half early, and then I think if I had to guess, because that's what we do a lot. We're looking at replays, we're looking at works. We have to kind of guess what was the trainer's thinking, what's the rider's thinking, and if you notice the Hampton Run and Arousing Lover worked together on October 6th and worked.
Yeah.
They both were good. 47-4 for this level is pretty very good. And I think because Arousing Lover might have had no finish in that race that she debuted in, that I think maybe they didn't want the same kind of scenario happen to Hampton Run. So I think maybe they tried to save some for the finish, and it kind of just sometimes the horses are learning. They don't know what you're doing. If you tell them to wrangle back a little, they overdo it. And she got a little green and then dropped all the way back and then finished evenly. So I think this time, they're gonna just let her go. They're gonna see. Let's see if you can go the 4.5. I like the 5 furlong work in 59-2. So I think she's gonna break like she did last time. I like Julio De La Torre as a thoroughbred rider. I think he's sneaky good. I think she's gonna be up 2 lengths early, and then I'm just gonna have to hope she makes it to the wire.
Yeah, Julio De La Torre. I was singing his praises last week because he was aboard a horse that I liked 2 starts ago, and he came back and won with him last time out. So Julio De La Torre is very capable. He hasn't gotten the volume of mounts this year, but he used to ride a lot more consistently. And so I like Hampton Run. I like your analysis of how they both have the same clocking and the same day. And I do think the one is going to take some money because there's a bullet workout locally, 33 furlongs and 34.60. So I think that money is going to attract that bullet workout is going to attract money not only because of the workout but also the trainer and the rider. So I'm thinking you still will get a very solid price on Hampton Run.
All right, I think Cyphar is going to probably be the favorite because that's the only one that looks like has speed. If you look at just the running line on the 5, it did break on top, but then 6.5, 7 3/4 loses by 12. There's no shine of speed, but if you watch the replays, she's quick. She'll be near the front. She should be in front. I'll be surprised if she isn't.
All right, so I like to start there with Hampton Run in the opening race. Let's go all the way to the closing race. And Professor, one of the most accomplished maidens in the last few years was this horse that we see back at Los Alamitos by the name of Javelina Cantina. Remember, she had made it maybe to the Los Alamitos Oaks as a maiden, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you can see the California Breeders' Matron Stakes that's on the card right there. Ran 4th against Kiss Through the Fire, the champion H mare, and she has had some stakes experience throughout her career. If you look at her record, only 1 win, but plenty of top 3 finishes. And at 400 yards, this is an opportunity for this runner to show a little bit of that kick that she's shown. If you look at that maiden win that she had, she kind of pulled away from the rest of the rivals there. But of course, we have a horse on the rail that is very, pretty much bred for these longer distances. That would be just
another cartel.
Just another cartel.
Yeah.
Political Eye Opener is a horse that qualified to the All-American Derby and finishing 9th there, but faced the likes of Apolitical Candy V. And of course, Bomb Cyclone was part of that field. And the number 3 horse, Gryffindor, horse that, that has been in several nice stakes races as well. So this is a really nice allowance event. Any of those top 4 horses from the rail to post number 4 looks really, really good in there and could deliver a victory.
Straight and True gets up for the maiden diplomas, prize winners, and Watch Him Go has broken wall in previous races, but is tackling a much more experienced group here. George, I know you knew that I needed just another cartel badly last time out. I think he got the bob before and after the finish line. So I was sweating that photo. Very tough defeat. I am liking just another cartel again, guys, but I'm going to give Javelina Cantina the look here just because of her purest localist experience. I thought that was a valiant effort last time out. And I think 400 yards is really what she wants. I know the running lines look a little bit inconsistent, but she's been facing some very good fields. I'm not sure Apolitical Eye Opener is going to want to he was finishing with good run behind horses, but I'm hoping Javelina can get the jump on him. But to me, if I'm going to try to beat the 2 with either the 4 or the 1, but I'm liking the morning line price on Javelina Cantina.
Yeah, she's probably one of the most unluckiest horses I've seen.
Yeah,
I when she went to Remington in April, I was like, okay, I think she finally can win. She was a big favorite, and then she caught an outside bias. 9 and 10 was winning all night, and she was in the 4 hole, so she got unlucky. And then she runs in another maiden race, and she runs into One Genuine Cartel V, which has ran here as has won allowances here, so another tough field, and then finally got a break at Canterbury and won for fun, and then they put her right back into stakes, and she's always having the work for her wins. Can't get it. Then she's right here. She's like, okay, allowance not ones or two should be a soft spot, and then runs into a horse that just ran in the stakes. And
I know.
a political eye opener. It's just like,
well, you gotta credit the connections, right? They're not afraid of putting her against tough competition.
No.
Lindor 16, she's faced that really good mare several times.
Yeah, so I'm liking that she's back here. She's obviously very familiar with these grounds, and I'm liking that she's a solid price. I'm going to take a look there, a little bit of a long shot look with Javelina Cantina in race number 10, the featured allowance on Saturday night. All right, let's get down to business, Professor. How about this special post position selection show on FanDuel TV coming up next Wednesday?
Yeah, and that's always one of the fun things that happen right before this great weekend of action, because the connections get to select their post position depending on where they're gonna go in a random post position draw that gets done in the racing office prior to this event. So in the racing office, they select which order each connection is gonna go pick their post position. Then during this show, they actually do select the post positions, and it matters. You get a horse like Apolitical Pence, who likes kind of the middle of the track. He's won the last two Champion of Champions from post number 6. Or you get a horse like Bomb Cyclone, who's had some outstanding, superb races from the rail. So if you get the right post position with the right horse, it makes a big, big difference, Jose.
It does, and I think there's going to be fun to see where each selection lands and where the connections we're going to pick. So looking forward to that draw. You can catch it live on FanDuel TV Wednesday there from 2:30 Pacific time. Ed Berger's Morning will be announced for both races, and should be a good one. Should be a fun show.
And Jose, has there ever been a morning line that has been more anticipated than this one for the Champion of Champions? I mean, everyone just wants to know who's going to be the morning line favorite in this race, and like what kind of odds am I going to get on a horse like Powerful Favorite, a Political Candy V, even Impressive?
Yes, and a gentleman that we have on the show right now tweeted his opinion of the morning line. So George, remind us of where you would kind of land with this field.
What's funny is like this race is so contentious that even the morning line is contentious. Like,
yes,
you ask anybody, one will say, "Oh, of course it has to be a Political Pence." Like, no, of course it has to be the world champion Danger. And for me, I think who it should be Bomb Cyclone. I was like, from the rail, like the closest somebody's gotten to him is a length and a half at Los Alamitos. He is the ultimate horse for course. When he's here, you're lucky if you can even see him, how far he away is. He's won by 4, he's won by 3. He just crushes, and since they get to choose their post, I don't see anybody taking the rail. Like, they're not going to try to hurt their chances if their horse doesn't like the rail. So I think it's like 1 to 9 he's going to get the rail, unless Monty says, you know what, Pence can handle any post because he's fast, he's going to be out there no matter what. I'm taking the rail away from you. That's the only way I can see him not get the rail. Impressum is going to want an outside post. I think Danger's probably going to want, 3 through 6. I think he'll be happy with any of those posts. But for my morning line, I had Bomb Cyclone. I think it was 8 to 5. I had Impressum at 5 to 2, Pence at 3 to 1, and Danger 7 to 2. The reason I had Danger the last is because I looked at his races and in Remington, he was 3 to 1 in those races that are far weaker than this one. Mm-hmm. So why should he be lower in a race that's completely loaded, the best race he'll ever face in his career? Why would he be lower in this race compared to the ones at Remington where he faced, the best horse he faced was Instigator and Just My Hawks, So that's why I have him 4th. I respect him a lot. He's the defending champion, world champion. This is like a unifying of the belts, basically.
Yes,
Pence is the champion of champions, and Danger's the world champion. So we gotta see who comes away with it.
Orlando, you gave us this graphic here, 50th edition of Champion of Champions. $750,000 is the purse, 750,000 on Sunday night, December 10th. You see the grade one winners listed in gold there, and look at the combined earnings, Professor, nearly $10 million. Have we ever had these many millionaires in a race like this?
I mean, you're talking about almost an average of $1 million per horse in this one. And I just can't remember very many races where we had half of the field has already earned $1 million. The Political Candy V is not too far away at 799,000. Cocktail Cove is over $500,000. And the two fillies, the two females, Just a Political Girl, Sweet Dash of Fire, they're at the, they bring up they complete the list of earnings, but they're very talented as well. And it's sometimes in those races, we've seen in the past that we get caught by surprise in a big, big way. Even when Apolitical Pence first won his Champion of Champions, if I remember correctly, he was the only non-grade one winner going into that race, and he ends up winning the race. And you have throughout history of the Champion of Champions some big surprises. So you cannot count out anyone in this one. At the very top level, you are looking at some incredible runners. So it will take a humongous effort to do it, but that's why they line them up, and that's why the post position could make a difference. I mean, what if Danger and Bomb Cyclone are the last two to select, and Danger is ahead of Bomb Cyclone, and the number one post is there? Yeah. Danger has won from the rail. In fact, 2 out of his last 3 wins have come from the rail, right? So he might take the rail. So that's kind of why it's going to be fun just to see how the leaves fall as each owner, each connection goes and selects the post position. And I've been there when they're talking on the phone and they are seeing what's happening, and then a post goes, and I heard the trainer say, they just took it. They just took it, and now they got to go to plan B. And then there's sometimes when it's still there, and then it's their chance to go and make the selection. They go up there and take it. So I go back to Joe Bassett when he had a Blues Girl too, and boom, right away he took that rail. Like you mentioned, that filly by Jaime Gomez, she won the Los Alamitos 2 Million Futurity from the rail as well. Jay Fire Up. So, there are horses that love the rail, and like George also mentioned, there's a good chance that it will be there, but it doesn't mean that Bomb Cyclone is going to get it. It all depends of where different horses are picking and how the posts are moving along as each owner, each connection is taking their preferred spot.
It's going to be interesting. I am kind of in agreement with George that I do think the rail will be open for them. So I find it very difficult for someone to immediately jump in and say, you know what, let's take the rail. Let's take the rail. Unless it is Apolitical Pence, because he's got gate speed to break from wherever. So it might be where they get the rail. Now, if they draw the rail, guys, I do think he's going favored in the race. I don't know if he would be able to more than favored, but I do think he'll go the favorite in the race if he gets the rail.
And one of the things as well is that Danger has such a national name that he's going to attract a lot of money from everywhere. So, that's something to consider as well. And like Ed Bergar always mentions, is not when he's making that morning line, it's just how he thinks the public is going to bet the race and where most of the money is going to go. So that's another little consideration that he's got to take into account is Danger is the defending world champion. He's won at so many different racetracks. He's got this national following because of that. He's going to attract money.
And he has one for the rail. Do you think, George, that they might take the rail with Danger? Is he another option?
I would. It depends a lot. It depends on who's in the 2-hole, who's in the, if you have like a fast horse in the 2-hole, you're kind of scared to take that rail because say Monty is choosing between the rail and the 2, and he chooses the 2, and there's like the rail and the 5 posts. And like, it's gonna be hard to take that rail with Pence right next to you. You're gonna be like, I don't know, because then you really can't make a mistake because he's gonna be right in front of you.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be hard to make a close, and that's why I'm so excited about this race. Everybody's in form. Nobody has like, oh, has he lost a step?
Like a big dud,
Any of them. They're all at tip-top shape. They're all ready to go. And if you look at their running lines, they all win easy, length and a half, 2 lengths, crushing. And now they're all gonna face like I can't see somebody winning by a length in this race. I think they're going to go sub 21:20. I think it's going to be. I can't even. I don't know who's going to win. I have to wait to the post. I have to see, and I want to see them on track. It's hard to make a pick now. It's hard to make a morning line. It's hard to do anything with the race right now. It's just so good. And I just hope everybody that's Contreras fan, if you're a Contreras fan, you have to watch the race. There's no way you cannot watch this race.
You have to. You have to. I was kind of going through the PPs there as you guys were talking about it. There's a biblical Candy's PPs. Of course, the All-American Derby winner. He has not broken, guys, at Los Al at all. If he breaks, do I think he's right there? I think he's right there. But can he break? What have you seen George on track when you've seen him there during the warm-ups?
Yeah, when he ran here before he broke and he was fine. Like there's some races where he's broken bad, but he's broken good. I don't know if it's just, because that All-American Derby is hard to win. It's a hard race. You're up in the mountains. Maybe just took a lot out of him, and maybe Heath's been taking it easy on him. All right, let's just let him. And then, this is the race to go all in and have him. This is what he wants to win. I think the Super Derby was, he wants to win, but the champion is the one he really wants to win. He wants a chance at that champion 3-year-old. He wants to be world champion. And this is the race you need. I feel it's 100%. Whoever wins this race will be the world champion.
And the thing with a political candidate is that he has to break.
Yes.
Because we see how he makes up ground here at Los Al, especially. He's never really just flown out of the gate. Even when he ran second, when he won his trial to the Winter Derby, he was behind, and he kind of lugged out in that trial to the Super Derby, and then in the final he was maybe the last horse that broke, and then he ended up making a big move to finish fourth. He can't afford that in the Champion of Champions because horses like Apolitical Pence, Bomb Cyclone, Danger, the odds are that one of those horses is going to break fast. It's going to do everything perfect and fly. So
they're all fast. Even like Patty Saint. Patty Saint's quicker.
Patty Saint's quick.
You're next to Patty Saint. You're not. It's going to be hard to. You have to break. He's unless he gets the 10 post, which would be interesting for him. I can't see him getting the 10 post. Well, actually, the only way I think I can see him get the 10 is if he's the first pick. Otherwise, I think Impressum wants the 10 the most.
Yeah.
I think Cattail Cove would like the 10.
Yes.
Because the rail, he always loves lugging. That horse I know will not choose the rail. 100% Cattail Cove will not choose the rail.
No.
Because he's cost me. He loves to lug in.
Yes.
On that rail and the gap. He's not going to choose the rail.
All right. So that's a good exercise, guys. Who will not want the rail? Who will not pick it if it's available? We know Cattail Cove, they're not going to pick the rail, right? Patty Saint, will it pick the rail if it's open? I don't think so.
It depends.
No, because I think they're quick. Right? There's one of them. They're quick. They're going to rather choose the middle. They want to be able to see all their targets. Yeah. Because sometimes that's the problem. If you're in the rail, you might not see the horse in the 10 post. So you feel like, I think they're going to want to choose middle.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tremendous field. I just can't wait. I can't wait for the field to assemble. We got the post positions. We got a Burgers morning line. Everything set. Put them in bubble wrap. Everybody make it to the gate. That's what I want to have.
And we've been talking about this race now for several minutes, maybe about 15 minutes or so. We've talked very little about Impressum. We've talked very little about Powerful Favorite. And in the Champion of Champions, those are like some of the major storylines. Yeah. Powerful Favorite, a horse that has been a long-standing star here at Los Alamitos. This will be his swan song, right? And imagine leaving, making his final start, a winning one in the Champion of Champions after all he's accomplished, beating his younger brother, his younger hotshot brother in the process. That would be quite a story. And Impressum, he was the horse of the moment. He was the hot horse all through the summer here at Los Al after winning the Vessels at the Go Man Go handicap, and it took a humongous race from Apolitical Pence to beat him in the Robert Boniface Los Alamitos Championship, and even in defeat, Impressum I thought ran a really nice race for the inside post. Yeah. So, like you guys are talking about, if he gets a spot that he would really like to be in, he could be just another kind of horse in this Champion of Champions. I had a chance to talk to Heath Taylor after he saddled one of the winners in the trials of the Southern California Derby, and I had to sneak in that question. How about impress him? How is he doing? Because this horse also had a turn and work recently here at Los Sal, a turn that nice work for as far as Heath Taylor is concerned. Here he is, Heath Taylor, talking about the multiple Grade 1 winner and champion, Impress him. On Tuesday, you gave Impress him a workout preparing for the champion of champions. How did he look?
You know, the horse looked really, really good. He looks really strong. You know, his hair coat's back really, really good. I think his weight's a lot tighter, a lot better than last time. He was a little soft, a little dull. You know, certainly he got outrun by a great horse, and that horse just beat him fair and square that day. But I was real pleased with his workout, real pleased with how he come back out of it. Rodrigo thought that the horse was back to how he was when he ran in the Go Man Go in the vessels. So, you know, we still got 2 more weeks to bubble wrap and keep everything good. But I think it's one of the best races that the Quarter Horse Racing's had in a lot of years. Read an article, if all 10 starts that are nominated, it'll be the richest gate ever, almost $9.2 or $9.3 million.
Well, so over $9 million. Yeah.
It'll be a gut check for any horse. Whoever deserves it, who wins it's certainly going to deserve it. But you know, we can only control how our horse is doing, and that's all we can worry about. Get him ready the best we can, lead him over here. But the horse is doing really good.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Well, there it is. The richest gate ever, Professor. What a statement.
Yeah, over $9 million. We got all those millionaires in that race, and looking at the number of Grade 1 stakes winners, right? You counted them all, right, George? Yep. How many Grade 1 stakes races does this group have as a unit?
29?
29
wow.
Grade 1s. Again, we're talking about an average of 3 per horse, and of course, some of them, not all of them are Grade 1 winners. Danger has a bunch of them.
Yes.
Powerful Favorite has, I believe, 5 in there.
Danger has 9. Impress them and Powerful Favorite each have 5.
Each have 5. Let's see, Patty Saint has a couple.
Yeah, Patty Saint has 2.
Bomb Cyclone has 2.
2.
Political Candy V has 2.
Yeah.
And Pence has 4.
Yep.
29 Grade 1s combined. So I'm sure the number of graded stakes races combined is up there. So just an incredible group of horses, and I'm just happy that this being the 50th running of the Champion of Champions, the golden anniversary of this race, and we have a field that is just appropriate for this type of a race.
And you know, we were talking about how the field is so impressive at this point, and there's no question. This is the race. You know, years past we've seen, all right, champion and champions might decide world champion honors. This race decides the world champion. I mean, this is where you want to be. There's no question about it. The championship will be decided on the racetrack, and it's going to be a sensational race.
If you want to win the world champion title, you better have a good performance here in this race. That's my opinion.
Yeah, that is for sure. All right, so we'll be talking more about Champion of Champions in next weekend's program. George, while we have you here, I got the PPs for the $2 million. What was any impressions coming out of trials night?
I think it's gonna be Cyber Money's gonna have to answer the question if he can, win a final. Last time he regressed, and so this time he runs huge again in the trial. Let's see if he can. Cyber Attack. I don't know why. Cyber Attack.
Well, they're all related. There's so many siblings that I even call them the wrong names. I'm thinking Bomb Cyclone is still 2-year-old. I've done it.
Maybe because I was mad because I need him for the pick 6 when he lost by a nose. That I just forgot his name. I wanted to forget him.
Yeah.
He won by 2.
Yeah.
If he repeats, I don't think anybody can go under 1960 besides him.
Yeah.
The only one that I think has room to improve, and I like that Heath was saying he's going to take the flipping halter off, was up Jericho. Yes. Because I think he is the best finisher. He has a very similar finish to Impress him, where you can see them just, man, the farther they go, the more he wants. And like going back to the Champions when Pence, that was the hardest I've ever seen a horse run when he won that against the Boniface. I've never seen a horse all out completely from that. As soon as the gate opened, he was full speed. And if you watch the gallop, like not even at the 500-yard mark, Impress him was by him. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's how fast he was finishing. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think he was just a little sluggish early, and that's maybe where Heath was saying how he was a little soft. He wasn't, fully fit, but in those last 220, he was flying.
And
And
Orlando,
Jericho has a very similar finish. But he's a lot slower out of the gate, and hopefully the flipping halter taking off will, if he gets a clean start, that's the only one I think that could beat Cyber Attack.
we're kind of in agreement as well in that side of the coin. But Professor, you were talking to Heath Taylor after that trial, and he told you they might take the flipping halter off, right?
Yeah, he got the horse from a different trainer when he came here to Los Alamitos, and he didn't want to change anything on Jericho because the horse is a nice horse. Everything he had done had showed a nice potential. He qualified to the Golden State Million, but the longer that he worked with the horse, the more he kind of noticed that this horse might not need it because he's such a sweet horse. I think he used the word docile. Describing the horse, that he was just such an easygoing horse that maybe using that flipping halter maybe took a little bit of an edge off of the horse, and that's kind of why he wasn't breaking as sharp. So we'll see if that's what happens when he enters back into the 2 million, and and like you guys have said, he is a very, very strong finisher. And looking at where he could possibly be in the 2 million draw, because remember, they're also selecting post positions for this race. He's had 2 really good races from post number 6, especially his trial to the Golden State Million. So he'd be a horse that would love post position number 6. AJ Born Running, I've seen a couple of our better races have come from post number 8. Famous Miss Kitty, a couple of her better races have come from post number 2. He's Judge and Jury, only 1 start here at Los Al. He looked really good from post number 3. Reyes, same thing. He's had some nice races from the inner part of the track. Require First from the rail, another horse. We can't forget about him. He's actually done some nice things from post number 1. So here's another little puzzle here where all these pieces are gonna fit as they start picking their post positions. And again, that's all happening this Wednesday, 2:30 p.m. Pacific, and we get to see it on full live on FanDuel TV.
Yeah, champion to champion.
First, he's going to get to the rail either way.
Yes,
he loves to lug in.
So I was going to ask you about George. Was it from your vantage point up there and watching the replays and doing the charts? Was it more about Jericho finishing, or was it more about Ricard First blowing the race by lugging in so much, or was it a combination of both?
I think it's the both. I think Ricard First doesn't really, this was his first 400-yard race, and he doesn't really finish as good as the rest of them to begin with. And then he also ran into a horse that has the fastest final eighth as a 2-year-old. Yeah. I think Jericho has the biggest kick in the nation as a 2-year-old. I think there's nobody that can out finish him. So I think him lugging in, and Ricard First was so far ahead, he was just
so far
out of there and then just lugged all the way to the rail. And then I remember you could see Gasca just look to his right, and he was thinking
woo.
Yeah, man, here comes Jericho. And Jericho had that wide path, and he just caught him. But yeah, that Ricard First, I think I would want an inside post, because that horse loves to lug in. But on the rail, is runs straighter. If he's in the 3, he's going to the rail. If he was in the 8, he went to the rail.
One of the stories I think of the season, Professor, as far as what they've accomplished, has been Hayshaker, right? He was in the Los Angeles Claim Futurity. He got claimed out of there, and then he made it to the finals of the Golden State Million Futurity, and now has made it to the finals of the 2 million Futurity.
Yeah, quite a story there from and I don't want to say rags to riches, because he was a pretty good horse, and the connections prior to the Claimant Futurity final, they knew that it was a big risk running him in there, but there was also nice money to go after, and they decided to take a chance with the horse. And Jaime Gomez went ahead and claimed the horse. Then he sold privately to Mr. Alfredo Alonzo and to the Martinez connection there. And now we've seen him qualify to the Golden State Million Futurity and the Los Al 2 million Futurity as well. So like I mentioned, a really nice story, for that group as well. I had a chance to talk to both Mr. Alonzo and Roberto Martinez, and this is what they had to say after the Hayshaker won his trial and looked headed to a 2 million appearance.
We were able to make some connections and get the horse. Actually, Alfredo was the one that did all the work on getting the horse. But yeah, we thought he was worthwhile, and we were fortunate to get him.
Well, we're pretty happy because we got the win on a birthday week.
Birth week. It's his birth week.
Your birth week.
Yes, it's his birth week.
So
yes.
we were due. So we're very thankful for the opportunity, and I'm thankful for being with one of my best friends right here. One of my only best friends. So we're very happy.
What's the connection?
We're like brothers.
Yeah. Long time.
There it is, Alfredo, Alonzo, and Roberto Martinez, if I remember correctly. So nice to catch up with them, Professor. They look like they're having the time of their life now since acquiring Hayshaker.
That's right. And Jose, you celebrate your birthday month, right? I mean, you just keep, it's not a birthday week.
Just keep it going. Just keep it going. Right? Yeah, why not? Why not?
Absolutely.
So they're having a great time there with Hayshaker. He is going to be, of course, in the finals of the 2 million futurity. But I think it's going to be bet like a 2-horse race, given like you were talking about, George, with the time that Cyber Attack put up, and we know the closing kick that Jericho has. But what do we make of the All-American futurity runner, guys? The winner, he's judge and jury. Is that second time over the track improvement in play for this horse? What do you guys think?
I think so. I mean, that was the one I was going to mention. If you didn't mention, I was like, well, the sneaky horse would be he's judge and jury. He can run and get in a final. I think it was more like a workman-like win. I think it was very, just
grinding out,
get it done, get to the final. I think they knew if he wins, he's going to qualify. So I think that's what it was. Like, just get him there. He had a hard campaign. He ran in every race at Rio Doso. So, that's a hard campaign. So they, I think they were easy on him. They figured he's good enough. He just needs to win and he'll get in. And, he had a little trouble. Looked a little scary early. He got bumped around and then, but he, his class showed and he won. And he got in. That's the most important thing. Who cares if you're 8th fastest, 9th fast, as long as you're in. That was the goal. So I think he's going to fire. I just I think the other two, I've seen them here. I've seen them perform here. I want to, I'd rather take, if Jericho gets the 10, that's who I'm playing.
Yeah. Professor?
Well, I think there's room to improve for his judge and jury. I have a feeling that he can only get better second time out here at Los Al. I like the fact that he just continues so strong from, the 300-yard spot all the way to the finish. Those final 100 yards, he finished nicely. They didn't really give him much of a work in that night work that we saw. In fact, I think Chasing AJ finished ahead of him. So it was just a matter of, hey, let's get him used to the lights. Let's see how he does. Then in the trials, let's just get him qualified. Let's see how he does. He does fine. Like you said, the longer the race went, the better he got. Now, big money on the line. Let's see him all out. Let's see him all out against Cyber Attack, against Jericho. Jericho, he's got to break better. Cyber Attack, can he outfinish if they're coming after him, Jericho, and he's judge and jury? So I think you got to give him a chance. My goodness, he's qualified to all those $1 million races. He won the All-American Futurity at a longer distance, and he won here in his trial. So you definitely got to give him a chance.
And just going down to the list there, let's go top to bottom. Again, mention everybody that's in the final. AJ and Board running. I think her best races are from the outside. If the outside is available, they'll probably pick that spot. Cyber Attack, if he runs his race, we know he can go in the 50s, which is probably the fastest that he needs to go to win this race. So he's got gate speed on his table. Fabius Vesquiti, I was ultra impressed with that July win. Are you guys I was surprised she didn't stretch out like I thought she would. I thought she was going to be a little bit stronger once she got through 350 and 400 yards.
She was the opposite for me. I thought she wasn't gonna.
Really?
Like, I remember there was 2 trotter horses that came, and I thought the other one was better. And then when I saw her and she ran, I was like, whoa! I was very impressed. I was like, okay, maybe she can do. And then she's been solid. Like, the first time 400, it's hard. She ran okay, respectable. 3rd against AJ Bohr running, and then comes back, runs better. You expect improvement. She did improve. That's always good to see that there's still more finish available for her. So, and she's quick. She's going to be there early. It's just, can she hang with them at the end?
Good wagon to say for Landolfo Diaz. Second to Cyber Attack. We talked about Hayshaker. He's Judge and Jury. We mentioned him. Jericho. He can finish with the best of them. It's all about hit the break for him. Mahomes Magic, to me, it's another runner that probably prefers the outside post based on what he's done up to this point. I was trying to beat him. Let me see, when was it? I think I was trying to beat him 2 starts ago. And despite bubbling at the start, he still won. So that's the race that kind of was like, he still beat me and he still bubbled. Maybe I have to respect him now. That was the race I was trying to beat him, George, and he still got up for the win.
Yeah, when if you see that running line, usually that's an odd running line.
Yeah.
So when I looked at it, I was like, that's right. That he was down a half, then he went to 3/4 and then somehow won.
Yeah.
And I re-looked at it, did it, and that was the right margins. It was just weird. It was a weird race. Like he kind of just let him, like he broke really well, like let them go, and then
and he kind of
the last 16th. It was, I can't believe he caught up to him.
All right. Well,
one of 2 claimers in this one. He was also claimed.
Yes.
And actually he was claimed for more than Hayshaker.
Yeah.
Out of a good mare. I think, didn't she have one?
Yeah, Gentry Farms, Gentry bred.
Yeah. Yep. Professor, you sat on us on FanDuel TV desk for a couple of races the night of Ray J's big win. You liked this horse that night. Were you impressed after the race, given how visually impressive he looked?
Absolutely. At the time, he had the fastest qualifying time. And, he did pretty much everything right. In the previous race, he had some trouble leaving the gate, kind of got a little bit behind some horses as well. So I thought that he had a chance to improve, and he definitely superseded my expectations, winning the way he did and posting that type of a clocking.
Yeah, he looked very strong. In our consensus, do you remember picking him on top, George?
No, I didn't. No? I was against them because the mare, she didn't
kept asking me, you really like Ray? You really like Ray?
Yeah, really? That's what he kept. I think I had him
up. I was wrong.
I don't remember if I had him on top. Who else was in the race? Damon Mischetti, El Aventurero. I feel like there was someone else.
Yeah, there was somebody else. That's who I had. I had one that didn't.
It was a kind of like a contentious race. There was a lot of good horses in that trial.
All right.
Well, they have a question for you. If you were Rodrigo Vallejo's agent, who are you choosing?
It's a good question.
Wow.
It's
you got
tough.
to choose before the draw, right?
Yeah.
Orlando?
I think so, right? Orlando?
No, I don't know. They can announce if they would like. But we
so they
actually
don't have to before the post is picked.
I'm not sure. I don't know, to be honest, because the race is actually going to be drawn on Sunday. That's the day that they're actually entering for the race. So he might have an extra little bit of time. I'm not sure, to be honest.
All right. How about this? What if he takes off? What if he's right there and he takes off Judge and Jury again? James Florence gets to pick him again, and then he wins the final. He's like, I can't do this twice, right? So that might come into play. We're like, what if I take off of him again? And now he wins again, just like he did in the All-American. I don't know. To me, I think the horse that absolutely wants this and is talented for sure is Jericho. I would choose Jericho if I'm the rider. But then again, that comes into play. I got off of him in the All-American. He won. What if I get off of him again? I don't know. I would choose Jericho, though, if I was the agent. What would you choose?
There's a rule there about when that has to happen, but I'm not. I can't. That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure. Usually, when you get into the into the 2 million with the All-American Futurity winner, you're probably riding that horse. But that's kind of an interesting thought.
That's a good position to be in, though.
Yes, it is.
Like, I might take off the All-American Futurity.
Yes, I know. Like, I don't know. I think I would lean towards Jericho because I think there's still a higher ceiling there. Might be wrong, but I think there's still a higher ceiling with Jericho. But that's a good dilemma to be in. That's a very good dilemma to be in. We're gonna let go of George. Let's keep him, Professor. Let's keep George here. We're because I want to talk about. We still got an interview that you conducted for us, but George could tell us a little bit about it because he heard these connections scream all the way up in the vessels, in the press box. In the press box here, the connections of Bundarby, right, Professor? You were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, you could not hear them. They were super excited and good for them. That's what it's all about, right? That just having that much fun. Just like when Alfredo Alonzo, he's also gets super pumped up when his horses win.
Yeah.
Mornings with Maria, they've been a lot of fun to follow when she's running. That's what it's all about. And the connections of Bundarby and the Davenports, they came out, they made the trip from Utah to come watch a horse that, we're not talking about a horse that was even money or 2-1 or anything like that. This horse was a big long shot. And they made, they decided, hey, we're going to go watch our horse run. And they were rewarded with a great, great moment. So good for them. Had a chance to talk to Lacie Davenport and also her, the family that was there as well, Doug Davenport as well, and their significant others, their husband and wife, were all there to enjoy Bundarbian's big victory. Good for them. Here's the interview, Jose.
I work from upstairs, the press box, and from sitting up there, I'm like, okay, they either own the horse or they just hit the pick six. One of the two. Because you guys were just super excited, cheering every step of the way. Tell me, how does that feel, Lacie? Starting with you, you're part of the ownership group that owns Bundarian, and you just beat a Grade 1 winner in Whiskey Glasses. Tell me about this win.
Pretty exciting. We knew he'd show up. I am a little bit surprised he did as good as he did, but I knew he had it in him. He's been feeling really good. We own his mom and have for her entire life, so yeah, he's homebred. That's how we came into him. Pretty close to home.
Great. How long has your family been involved in horse racing now?
Forever.
Forever?
Since we were kids,
Yeah.
Long time.
Long time, 40 plus years.
Amazing. Where are you originally from?
Utah.
Looks like he's in good shape to get into a Grade 2 Southern California Derby. Where would that rank as far as the family accomplishments and, in competing in big races?
Yeah, up there for sure. Definitely, we're pretty astonished with his results tonight. Pretty excited.
Yeah.
Some of the best.
Some of his siblings have been in Grade 1 stakes, so he's in
good company.
With
good company
with his siblings.
With some of his breeding and such. So
they run better as 3-year-olds for sure. So we were excited and
confident he'd do really good.
He'd run well at 400 yards.
Yeah.
Well, there it is. Like you mentioned, Professor, it sounded like they either hit the pick six or they owned the horse, and you were right about one. They owned the horse. George, you could hear him as well, right, George?
Yeah, as soon as the gate opened, they were yelling. I didn't know who they were. I didn't know if it was for the 7, because a lot of times you hear when the favorites are winning, you know, there's always that crowd of people, cheering. So that's what I thought. And then when the 6 won, I was like, oh, and they kept cheering. I was like, oh, it's the 6. I was like, oh, they must have bet it. Because they walked away and they kind of came back into the winner circle. Then when I saw they was the owners, I was like really happy for them. I like seeing small connections travel. You know, they come from the Intermountain. They come to Big Bad Los Al, run in the Derby. And then, like, I've won a 5 claimer and I've been excited at Los Al. I can't imagine winning a trial, and knowing you're in a Derby. You know, that's the goal since they're born, since you bred them, is to get in a Derby. So they got to live that dream. You know, I'm happy for them. I hope they do well.
Yeah, and I can imagine, Jose, they're looking at the program and they're seeing, man, we gotta face Whiskey Glasses.
Yes.
Oh, wow. And then the gates open and the horse is right there and the race just continues and you're battling and you're right there with Whiskey Glasses, and Whiskey Glasses, the Grade 1 winner, is trying to get you, and you're still there, and then cross the finish line and you get the win. They didn't have to wait for the photo. They knew they had won the race. That's what had to be even more fun. You know, there was no, did we get it? Did we get it? It was like, wow, just that continuing, just excitement, that adrenaline just continuing to pump. So I was also very happy for them. And because of the price, that's the reason why I thought, okay, they singled this horse in the pit because it was a long shot. I'm just happy for them.
Yep, they ended up qualifying with the second fastest qualifying time, 19.88, stuck in probate. I didn't get 35-1 like last time, Professor, but he went off at 7-1. Still a very nice price on that runner. And you can see the bubble time was Dasher Dynasty 20.02. And then going back to Bundarby and George, watching from low ground, probably 100 or 150 yards into the race, you kind of felt he was never going to let Whiskey Glasses go by. Whiskey Glasses did not want to go by. So it kind of looked that way for the entire of the race. And Bundarby, to me, was very game there holding off Whiskey Glasses.
Yeah, like before they reached the gap, it looked like, Whiskey's going to get it. And then he didn't go by. Like, he didn't go, usually when you see, the big favorite break with another horse, then you see them by the time they reach the gap, they're already pulling away, and it's just like how much they're going to win by. And when he was still there, and there was no excuse. He won.
No.
There was fair and square win. They both broke good. They both battled, and he was just better. No excuses. He was up a neck the whole way. He just said, all right, that's as close as you're going to get.
That's it. So that's the fields for the Southern California Derby. Second pro in 1972 leads the final time, and the final would be on our official closing night, right? December 18th.
December 18th will be our closing night. The purse for the race, $155,000, and again, closing night. So when we come back, our opening night for the next meet, Jose, will be on December 31st,
New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I can't remember ever opening on New Year's Eve, but looking forward to a nice way to close out the year and then go home, celebrate New Year's, and then come back on Sunday, January 1st, for our second night of the meet. So opening night for next season, December 31st. And as we're talking here, I'm kind of taking a look at the horses that will be running in the 1,000-yard finals, the winter finals at 1,000 yards. I'm looking at the filly and mare race. Piazzetta has been our point leader pretty much for the last couple of months now. She's been sitting at the top. She's entered back. Sweet Sony has had some really nice races here. Family trips. Love the connections. Howard and Janet Siegel. Those are the kind of people that George was talking about, kind of small connections. Howard Siegel, great guy. I actually called him one day looking for a guest for Kurt Hoover's preview corner during the thoroughbred meet. And I asked Howard, could you make it? Could you help us out? He says, I'll be there. I see him right before he's going to come on to Kurt Hoover. And he tells me, yeah, I just flew here from Vegas. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I was in Vegas and I wanted to be on the show, and I flew here to be on Kurt Hoover. It's an honor to be there with Kurt. And I just could not believe it. I was like, why didn't you tell me? I would have. I didn't want you. No. I wanted to be here. This is so much fun, and I was so thankful that you asked me. I just wanted to do it. It's great. This is what it's. This is what I'm in here for. Just those kind of moments. So I'll always root for Howard Siegel for just kind of that attitude and that love for the game. Flashy Pass, Majestic Gigi, Coruscation, another horse, CA Dreamer. I believe she won this race last year. So looking for a repeat, CA Dreamer.
Yep.
In the $50,000 race, See Through It might be the favorite in this race, right?
Probably. Yeah.
Go From Above. Bob Sniper, Whiskey My God. Whiskey My God is probably a repeat runner in this final. Silver Wind might also be a repeat runner. Cat Bernay, Bound to Bet, Alpine Thunder. I would have to think Mount Olympic is also in this group. See Through It, probably the horse to beat. And then in the $30,000 race, Winding, Deadmonger, Dutton, Superman Shack, who is coming off, I think, of a nice victory as well. Something Ain't Easy. Just a veteran, solid performer. River Tiber, Run Factor, and Proud Veteran. That's that looks like the group in that $30,000 final. So that will be the 1,000-yard finals will be our marquee events on Sunday to close out the weekend.
Yeah, this Sunday will be the finals, so those winter finals. And then by the time we talk next weekend on this program, Professor, we'll be talking Champion of Champions, Community Futurity Weekend, and then also we'll be talking doubleheaders with the daytime thoroughbred action as well. Speaking of daytime thoroughbred handicapping contest, what date is it this season, Professor?
It'll be on our second weekend of the meet, Saturday, December 17th. Rules very similar to what we've done in the past. $500 to get in, $400 wagering card. You have to bet at least 5 races, $50 each. But you can, if you want to bet 4 races for $50 and then bet your whole rest of the amount on the 5th race, that would qualify you. George has often been in these contests, often right there fighting for a top spot as well. So he can maybe tell you a little bit more about the strategies, what the mindset is when you're approaching these contests.
George, are you planning on playing in this upcoming one?
Well, I hope I get to pay Professor with the voucher after the first tomorrow on Saturday.
Yes, all right, nice. That's the goal.
You hit that,
That's
right?
the goal.
Hampton
And
goes wire to wire, and I say, all right, give me my entry.
here you go. Cash
But the way I approach it, I usually try to find a spot where I can go all in, because for me, I'm not the type that can hit 4 or 5 races. Like there's some of these guys that hit 4 or 5 races, and that's how they build their bankroll to 2,000-3,000. That's not me. I like to hit it once and then see what I got to do after. And I think Los Al has the best contest. 80% of the money that you put in, you get to bet. And, all these other places, it's, there's some that are up, 50% you get to bet, 60%. Here it's 80%, and it's 100% paid back to you. So you win, especially like if you get to the last race and you have a chance to win, and say you have like a 2 to 5 shot you like, and if you bet it all to win, you'll win the contest. You also got to think about that prize money you'll win, because there's 100 people in there. You're going to win another 5,000 on top of whatever you bet on that 2 to 5 shot, which makes that 2 to 5 shot really like a 2 to 1. Like those are the opportunities you get when you enter these contests. And there's that prize pool, is that you can factor that into your betting, knowing the odds that you're going to get, when you bet. Like the guy who won the Breeders' Cup betting challenge, he bet Flightline.
Yeah.
But he ended up getting like 3 to 1 on him because of the prize pool.
Nice. Prize pool and his money that he bet, the money that he won,
that's
everything.
Amazing bet. You'll do that all day. You get Flightline 3 to 1.
Can you imagine your story be like, I got Flightline at around 3 to 1 in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Right? That's like what? Yeah, everything that was in play, it was ended up being about 3 to 1. Yeah. So it's gonna be fun. Looking forward to that. And also Los Alamitos has a churn, right, Professor? Tell us about the churn.
That's right, the highest churn. Whoever bets the most money during the course of the contest, they also get a nice percentage, equaling the 4th place finish, a nice percentage of the pot. Nick Hines is a churn king. He's a past winner of this of the churn highest churn contest. Dave Weaver is usually a top one. Usually the person that bets, usually the person that's in the 2nd or 3rd, and like George has been saying, they've been playing quite a bit, building that pool. They're usually right up there as well. Danny Chavez, another one that I can remember, winning that highest churn. So another little factor to go in there, another little extra bonus to play. If you're one of those players that are just hitting, we want to reward them as well for just continuing to play, participating in helping to kind of build that excitement throughout.
And that's another reason to go all in the last race.
Yeah, exactly.
You have $1,200, you bet it all, you can get the churn, and then, you end up, it pays more. It always pays more than your entry. The
entry. Yeah, that's what I was going to mention. It usually is paying more than the entry, right, Professor?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it usually is. 7.5%, I believe, is the prize money for if you get the highest churn.
All right. Well, it's nice chatting with you, George. As always, Professor G. Thank you for the videos. Anything else, Professor?
No, just remember to tune in next Wednesday for the post position draw. We get to see where all these great horses will be lining up for the big races, and also the most anticipated morning line in quarter horse racing history, Jose. Yeah. Ed Bergar's morning line for the Champion of Champions. Ed Bergar's morning line for the Los Alamitos 2 Million Futurity. We get to find out who he thinks will be the favorite in this great race, the Champion of Champions, and where the maybe the horse that you like might be a double-digit horse or what have you. It's going to be fun just to look at the morning line. And next week, we're going to have Ed Bergar on this show talking about the morning line, because by then it will have been released during the post position show. So FanDuel TV next Wednesday, December 7th, 2:30 p.m. Pacific, the Champion of Champions, and then 2 million post position selection show.
Can't wait. It's going to be a fun one. Have a good week, gentlemen. George, thank you for joining us. Professor, I'll see both of you guys out there at Los Alamitos. And again, post time approximate for this weekend, Professor?
6 p.m. on Saturday, and I would assume about 5:15 on Sunday.
All right. Both of you have a great evening, and I'll see you this weekend at Los Al.
Thanks so much, Jose.
And away they go.
This December, quarter horse racing's most prestigious race will have one of the greatest fields ever, the 50th running of the Champion of Champions, a race for the ages. World Champion Danger, 2-time Champion of Champions winner Apolitical Pence, Champion Impressive, Full Brothers Bomb Cyclone and Powerful Favorite, plus 5 other stars, all in one race. Who will be the champion of champions? Racing fans, the traditional $2 pick six at Los Alamitos is always a great bet. And at Los Alamitos, when there's not a pick six carryover on Sunday nights, we'll add $10,000 to the pick six pool. That means every Sunday night Los Alamitos has either a pick six carryover or the $10,000 pick six promo. Our total pools have been gigantic, with a season high figure of over $322,000. And our popular 10,000 pick six promo nights create a big time wagering opportunity. The traditional $2 pick six, a great bet, a great deal. It's always at Los Alamitos. The Southern California Thoroughbred Racing Circuit returns to Los Alamitos this December with our Winter Thoroughbred Meet. Opening day is set for Friday, December 9th. Young stars will be in action with 4 stakes races for juveniles highlighting the meet. The Grade 1 Starlet for fillies is set for Saturday, December 10th. The Los Alamitos Futurity will be held on Saturday, December 17th. And don't miss our NHC qualifier. Opening day is Friday, December 9th. For more, visit losalamitos.com.